Hey, what is going on? It's your boy Big Poppy, unsecured from the skiff, back in the saddle. And let me first say thanks to all the people that reached out to me over the course of the past couple of weeks. Um, had to deal with some extracurricular nonsense. Hopefully, I've got that taken care of. But the extracurricular nonsense irritated me enough that I didn't want to do anything as it relates to um, videos. I really didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to handle the shit that I needed to handle and then kind of move on and get back in the saddle. So the saddle is here. Here I am, and I'll tell you, a couple of weeks ago I had to go to an appointment with a cardiologist. I shot out to the cardiology place. Walked in, got to the front counter. The lady said, "We've been trying to reach the VA to get in touch with you because of your referral is expired." So that ended up canceling the appointment that day that I was supposed to have. Subsequently, canceled the appointment that I was supposed to have on Thursday. I head back out, probably a 30-minute drive to where the VA is. I talked to the VA. They can't find the referral. They have no idea what the referral's for, and they're unwilling to renew the referral until I get another healthcare provider. So I've had 4 providers in 5 years. 4 have quit. I have no healthcare provider or PCM within the VA. They were reluctant to send me downtown because it costs money to send me downtown. And man, what do you do? You're kind of stuck in between. It's always been bureaucratic nonsense that veterans have to put up with, and eventually you get tired of it. So long story short, I got sent downtown, and I have a PCM, but it's good for a year and or until the VA hires another provider for me to see, which is difficult because not many people want to work for the VA, or they don't pay well, or whatever the case may be. So that's kind of the nonsense I had to deal with. I was relatively angry, as I think most of us would be when it comes to veteran care. I was angry that they wouldn't refer me when we have a $250 billion business as it relates to healthcare. We have 18 million veterans across the United States. Out of the 18 million veterans, less than 60% are eligible for any type of medical service care from service-connected disability. So at 60%, that's what, of 18 million, we'll say, I don't know, 10.5 million. Out of the 10.5 million people that fall into that 60% eligibility rate, just half of the 10 to 11 million actually use the VA healthcare system for anything. Right? So it's related to TRICARE Prime, TRICARE Standard. You can enroll in whatever you want to. You get Standard, you go downtown, you pick your own provider, you pay the out-of-pocket costs, and you kind of move forth, and everything works itself out, I guess. If you're TRICARE Prime, then if you're within 50 miles of a VA, you have to see a VA provider as a PCM, and then they will subsequently refer you to all your specialty care that's needed for the conditions that you have that are service connected. And I found it interesting when you look at those numbers and those breakdowns at why is it so difficult to not just shut down VA centers that provide health care, i.e. doctors, psychologists, social workers, whatever the case may be. Just shut them down. Take the $250 billion, apply it to healthcare for veterans, and let them go pick a doctor that actually accepts TRICARE, and then that said doctor can refer said patient to any healthcare entity or specialty care that's needed outside that. I mean, if you're having an issue hanging on to doctors and professional staff, nurses, why? Why do we have to continually spin our wheels through nonsense? It's a $250 billion taxpayer-funded entity. The Milcom VA is an appropriations bill that gets passed every year. Every year the VA asks for more money, they get more money. Okay, but nobody can tell you who's leading the VA now. Seems like every year somebody new. First it was Jackson, then it was Shulkin, then it's this, then it's that. I had to reach out to a congressional representative in my district to bitch about the fact that you guys continually cannot take care of veterans. I mean, you have two goals in mind. Two goals, and it's sad to even say this, but number one, you're going to provide me inefficient care, and I'm going to die because of inefficient care, because every doctor thinks my meds should be different, because every doctor doesn't want to refer people downtown, because of this, because of that, because of this, because of that, and you just continue on and on and on. Or you digress to the worst of the two, and you say 500 veterans a month kill themselves. They ultimately kill themselves because they can't get help for the things that they need. They can't get help for the things that they need. And when you have staffing shortages, you can't get appointments. So the healthcare that you provide doesn't meet any of the metrics that active duty personnel are used to dealing with when they were active duty. Like I'm not a smart dude. I'm not the brightest guy alive. But 1 + 1 = 2. And the way you're treating me is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm tired of it. I really am. I'm tired of it. You got funding issues, you have access issues, and then comes this discussion as it relates to privatization. Trump really wanted to privatize health insurance for veterans. There's actually something to be said for that. If you can't hire enough staff at a salary that is comparable outside the wire, if you can't provide the care, then why not turn the $250 billion into a venture and a means and a mechanism to which you can provide said care? Set up 10, 15, 20 geographically located referral centers. I am paneled with a doctor who accepts TRICARE. TRICARE pays that bill because it's not going to change exponentially from whether I'm in the VA or out. I'll be able to get an appointment when I need, so there's not any access issues. And then the VA can approve any referral made by a civilian doctor who accepts TRICARE and wants to refer me to a specialist. The VA gets to approve that by validating that the referral has something to do with a service-connected issue. If I'm referred to something that is not service-connected, then I understand as a veteran that it's not service-connected, TRICARE is not going to flip the bill, and then I'll pay for it out of pocket. It's simple. It's simple. Or I can use the insurance that I have from my second job. All of it is simple. And we're making it so dynamic and implausible to function without looking at the easiest fixes to spend my $250 billion that I get to spend every year. 18 million veterans. 60% of the 18 million are eligible for some type of medical care. Okay, 60%. Less than half of the 60% actually uses the VA. And the reason they don't use the VA is because of this bureaucratic bullshit. This is an easy fix, ladies and gentlemen. It's an extremely easy fix. And instead, we want to make it more difficult on the very people that you promised something to. You promised to the 18 million people, or the 18 million veterans, that we're going to give you access to the care that you need. Now, granted, the 4 million additional veterans that came from our previous war wasn't accountable for in any way. The psychological trauma of our previous war, nobody thought about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I understand all that, but there's still $250 billion that can be spent in a way that benefits and takes care of veterans. And you guys alone are mucking it up, and then politicians are using it as a political pawn. And here we are, the men and women who were willing to write the greatest check of all. We were willing to die for this bullshit. And yet, here I am with no PCM. You send me downtown to a person who doesn't even know me, has never seen me, now wants all my records. But guess what? I can't just pick up the phone and say, hey, can you release my records? Should be simple and easy, right? Can you release my records to this PCM? Now I got to go in, fill out a formal request to get anything pushed for somebody that, why would I want to go see him if I only get a year? A referral for a fucking year. To turn around and come back with a 5th doctor from the VA and 6 total in 5 years. 5 years of dealing with this shit. I'm telling you, government, Veteran Administration, VA, you guys got to do better. Get rid of the bureaucracy. Get rid of the nonsense. Get rid of the mud. Create streamlined processes and ways of doing business that are not archaic and antiquated in any shape or form. Hell, if Senator Rick Scott can plead the fifth 60 times in a deposition as it relates to Medicaid fraud, and then leave with $3.5 million in what at the time was the largest Medicaid fraud in the United States of America. Hey, Senator Rick Scott, why don't you do something for veterans? Do something. Pull your head out, listen for the loud pop, and do something, because this is an embarrassment. An absolute embarrassment. And to be quite honest with you, I'm tired of it. And so are 18 million other veterans who continue to get shit on by society and by politicians. So now you got how I feel. Like, subscribe, follow, comment, say hello. But I am blessed to have another day. This is your boy Big Poppy, unsecure from the skiff. Get at me. Party time.